When I invited Sergeant McCormick to men's Bible study and to attend church, he was reluctant to do so. He said he didn't know anything about the Bible or what to do. I told him that was all okay. It's the job of the ministers and the service to interpret God for you on your behalf. They say you should never talk about politics, sex, or religion. Doesn't say much if you're a minister, politician, or prostitute. I've known a couple hookers in my time, and they were lovely people. Nobody likes politicians, and there was actually only one minister I ever had a problem with. But given the choice between the politician, the minister, or the hooker, I guess I'll take the hooker. Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith at Sunday Coffee Hour. We talk about everything and nothing. This Sunday, we talked about saying goodbye to John Shear, loving the 1980s, hierarchical communication, and acquiring gnomes. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Deuteronomy, keep the Sabbath day, and from Corinthians, we're in a low place to proclaim God on high. The gospel reading was from Mark. The Sabbath is made for man and not for God. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral was by Randy Hollerith. Randy said the Sabbath is as old as Moses. Taking a day off is something we can do even if we don't believe in God. It's like having enough fiber in your diet. It doesn't make you a good person, it just keeps you regular. Randy listed all the things we're not supposed to do on the Sabbath, as listed in the Bible, including cutting, untying, knotting, unwinding, faxing, and texting. Randy says we make the mistake of assuming if we comply with all the rules, it'll make us a good person. It defines us as a good person. And if you don't follow all the rules, then you're one of those bad people. Randy said we can rise above in faith and conform ourselves and others to the knowledge that we're worth more than what culture values us to be. Randy invites us to find rest and restoration in the Sabbath. Randy said if you're struggling with a transition, rest in Christ. If you're feeling bad about what you've done or what you have not done, rest in Christ. If you're concerned about the state of the world, rest in Christ. Randy invites us in because Christ invites us in. It's not on Amazon Prime, but it's a great example to follow. At St. James, Lisa preached about the porous stones of the cathedral and the recent resolution over the joint property the cathedral holds with the diocese. Lisa said it's a blessing, not because it was easy or sure, but because St. James is a blessing, and it will continue to be so, even if the walls eventually fall in all around them. Lisa said any great edifice, city, or enterprise is always sought after, and the conqueror always reshapes it in its own image. The world seeks to conquer and reshape us in its image, but God has other plans. When Paul got on the wrong side of his congregation, he told them, God's light shines through you. Lisa is not on the bad side of her congregation. She told St. James, God's light is shining through you. It's a bold statement, especially when you're running a capital campaign. We all want to shape and mold a long-range planning committee, but it's another thing to have faith, seeing yourself as wildly successful when the world has given up on you. It's the difference between vision and being in debt to the world. We can be solvent and morally bankrupt. It's not an either or. It's a reality of being. St. James is all about the being. When I was in Atlanta for work at the height of the pandemic, setting up for a trade show, I got back to my hotel room late at night and there was an angry message on the phone. It was a minister from church. Someone had invited a new member to the coffee hour I was hosting on Zoom. I held the phone far away from my ear until he was done talking. I love Joe Morrow, but I never spoke to him again. On each of the 3 separate occasions when they tried to excommunicate me from church, they always assured me I could always consider Fourth Pres my church home. The Book of Order requires them to do so. They say you can never go home. There are lots of places we consider home, but if we're smart, we know never to step foot there ever again. Sometimes it's hard to receive an angry phone call and to be defined as a rules breaker. We're done in by the testimony of our own non-disclosure. Maybe we all balk at authority. Maybe it's part of our national psyche. We all have our doubts. Doubt is the sleazy pole dancer of faith. You're not faithful if you don't have it. It keeps us regular and it makes life very interesting. We don't really know what we're doing. We can take the call or just hang up. We never know who we're talking to. If you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hour, Sunday Coffee Hour is every Sunday at 12 noon Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.